Hey y'all, Bill Quirk with the Defensive Training Group and Big Daddy Unlimited. 2020 has been an interesting year for everybody, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and I wanted to end one of our last videos of the year with some good things and just talk about some of my favorite things to remind us that life is pretty good and we do have a lot of good things that we should be thankful for. So we're going to talk about a few of my favorite guns and some of my holsters as well. So what I've got here, I brought 4 of my favorite pistols, and they're each from a different category. So we have a striker fired, a Glock, we've got a double action, single action Beretta, a single action 1911 style, in this case a 2011, and then a revolver. And so I'm going to talk about each of them individually and kind of give you an idea of what I did and why they're special to me. And then we'll also talk about the holsters. I got holsters for each of them that I brought as well. So the first one, been a Glock guy for a long, long time. And this was a gun that I had built right after I retired. It's very similar to the duty gun that I used to carry, which was a Gen 3 Glock 17. At the very end I had a Gen 5, but this is a gray framed special run Gen 5 Glock 17. And it's been rather extensively modified by ATEI for the slide and then Great Lakes Custom Works on the frame and whatnot. So ATEI, of course, mounted the red dot. Definitely the best in the business as far as I'm concerned. I've got a lot of guns that have been modified with them where they've done the red dot install. And Doug does put a lot of magic into this. I've never had any problems. There's no Loctite on these screws. The way he machines it, I don't need Loctite. They do not loosen up. The cut is very precise, so when I take the RMR off, change the battery and put it back on, I still confirm that my zero is good, but very, very minimal, if any, zero shift because of the work that he does, just top notch. I can't say enough good things about Doug and ATEI. He also did the slide work, so we have enhanced side serrations here, a little bit deeper, a little bit sharper, just to give us a better grasp when we're manipulating the weapon. And then the top serrations as well, and these are trademarks of Doug's, this wave pattern. And it just gives you a good, you can rack it off a table, you can rack it off clothing, and just gives you a bit more purchase for doing manipulations and whatnot in less than ideal situations. So suppressor sights, of course, this is a Type 2 RM09, a 1 MOA dot, which is what I prefer these days. The different RMR guns here are all RM09 Type 2s with a 1 MOA dot. So that's the slide. The barrel in here is from Zafiri Precision, actually located just south of us down in the Clearwater area, Clearwater, Tampa area. And it's just a match grade drop-in type barrel. The frame has been modified by my buddy Brad up at Great Lakes Custom Works, who works very closely with ATEI. And this is one of my favorite patterns that he does. He and I laugh about it because it's not his favorite, but I think it's great. And this is what is called traditional and medium grade texture. And I have used this on various guns in the Florida humidity when I was hot, sweaty, wet, bloody in some cases, and never has let me down. Great grip, very consistent. Got the forward index points. We cut down the Gen 5 backstrap here just to give me a small beaver tail because I do have big hands. You can see I'm nursing a cut here from another gun where the slide bites me. So this gives me a little bit of protection, and I just trim that down and put that in without increasing the thickness of the grip unnecessarily. He does the undercut here just to get me a little bit higher on the gun, and just a great, very clean work, nice edges. Can't say enough good stuff about his work as well. The trigger in here is from Fowler Industries, and this is their Zero trigger, which is my favorite Glock trigger. All the parts are stock, it's just the shoe that is different. And I like the flat face, I like the geometry. The weight is still comparable to an ordinary stock Glock trigger, but gives me better feel and better feedback for when I'm shooting, which helps me in my performance. The magwell is from SLR Rifle Works, also located just south of us in the Orlando area. And this is a nice minimalist, not very bulky, but it does give me a little bit better purchase, locks my hand in, and a slightly larger funnel to feed that magazine in. And then of course the ubiquitous Surefire X300. This is the A model with the rail lock that just locks in place there. So definitely one of my favorite guns, one of my favorite striker fired guns. Got a lot of rounds through this one in particular, and then all of my ATEI Glocks. So moving along, now we have our single action. So 1911 style, in this case a 2011 from STI. This is an older STI. This is before they became the Staccato brand, back when they were still STI. This is the Costa Carry Comp. So branded on the side here with the Costa Ludus emblem. And it's got the integral compensator up here. This is a tremendous shooting gun, very flat, very reliable though, even with all kinds of different 9mm ammunition. This gun has also been tweaked a bit by ATEI. They did the slide work to mount the RMR. This original gun comes with just standard fixed sights, and Doug milled this for the Trijicon RMR adapter with the integral rear sight, and then fit the front sight that comes with the kit, and mounted another RMR 09 Type 2 on here. The grip frame was redone as well. Originally, the stock gun comes with a tan grip, and it's got a tree bark type of finish. That was good, but I sent this off to Great Lakes Custom Works, and I had him do, this is his hook and loop texture. A little bit more aggressive than the traditional medium we talked about. Very, very good. Again, locks your hand in very, very well. In all conditions that I've experienced down here, I got a lot of rounds through this gun as well and never had any problems whatsoever. The trigger is standard. All the other controls are just standard. Surefire X300B model in this case for the steel frame. This works a little bit better, clamped on there. And the only other modification that I made to this one is I do have a Wilson Combat slightly extended slide release lever, and that's because of being a lefty. When I go to reload the mag, I come underneath and I press it like that. And so that just gives me a slightly larger pad, a little bit more of a landing spot for my fingers when I'm doing my reload under speed and a little bit of stress. So that's our STI. Double action, single action. So as you've seen in several videos that I've done over the past couple of months, these are what I'm running these days. This is a Langdon Tactical 92G. It's a Beretta, obviously a Beretta product, but it's been significantly enhanced by the team at Langdon Tactical. So this gun, this is one I just got recently. This is my fourth one, I believe. This is my second RMR gun. Comes set up to receive the RMR. Again, this is a Type 2 RM09 with a 1 MOA dot. Has the tall sights. I've tweaked this one a little bit more. I've got the Wilson Combat. I got this from Langdon Tactical, but this is the Wilson Combat enhanced hammer with a slightly shorter reset. So that's why I wanted to try this one. The trigger otherwise is stock. It's the way that it comes when you purchase the weapon. And finally, I've got the Wilson Combat mag guide here. Both the mag guide and the hammer are refinished in NP3. And I don't know this is necessary because the mag well is nicely beveled, but it does give me just a little bit more of a lip there when I'm inserting that magazine, again under speed, a little bit of stress. So this is my current carry gun. Very, very happy with these. I've been running these pretty heavily for the past several months, and cannot say enough nice things about this one. This one is still a little dirty because this one is the one that I'm shooting these days. So finally, we don't want to neglect the wheel gun. And this is of my current wheel guns, and I do have several. This is my favorite. So this is a Performance Center 686 Plus. It's a 7-round medium L-frame revolver that's been enhanced by the Smith & Wesson Performance Center. And I've done a couple things to this as well to take it from the stock configuration, which is very good as it is. So one thing that I did, I replaced the sights with the cylinder and slide extreme duty, I believe is what he calls them, fixed set. And this was a little tough because the rear sight drops right in, that's no big deal, but I had to regulate the front sight. So I had to go with a couple of different Dawson Precision front sights to figure out the exact height that I wanted for my point A and point A impact. And then I put the Apex Tactical double action only hammer in here, which is a bobbed hammer, and got that installed. And now it's just a double action only 7-shot revolver. Shoots very, very well. You know, the revolver still has the challenges that we've talked about in previous videos, that it is a limited capacity weapon. There's no slide reciprocation to absorb that recoil. You have to absorb all the recoil. But still, there's a place for a good revolver, and there's nothing wrong with this if this is what you like. And this is one of my favorites. So, now talking about the holsters, even though I don't carry this very often, or even the STI very often, these are my two primaries, I do have holsters, carry options for all of my guns, and particularly all of my favorite guns. So going in reverse order, for the Revolver, it's hard to find good gear these days for revolvers. They're just not as prevalent anymore, and so you don't see a lot of manufacturers that are making good quality Kydex gear, particularly for your revolvers. JM Custom Kydex is one of the exceptions, and this is their appendix holster that is set up to accommodate this particular weapon. It is meant to go appendix, obviously for a left-handed shooter. It's got the closed loops up here, nice and stable on the belt, and then there's the Velcro patch for the foam wedge that again gives you that standoff and drives the butt a bit more into your body for better concealment. That's what I use for that one. For the Beretta, I've got, this is a Standard Co. That's the name of the company, Standard Co. And as I've discussed in previous videos, I am partial, as you can see, to the one-piece designs, even though these are connected in this case with shock cord. This is a Hypalon connector. I still consider these to be the one piece where they've got both the holster and the magazine pouch integrated and connected together. And this one from T5 Custom Kydex, you can see it is actually all one piece of Kydex. Well, two pieces, a front and a rear, but everything is together. I like this style, and I know that it's popular in certain groups to deride these types and say that they're not good, but at the risk of saying it works for me, it does work for me. And I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent here. You hear that a lot. People criticize that type of a statement, but you have to take it in the context. When I say something works for me, it's based on years and years of experience. I have worn all three of these extensively. I have trained in them. I have practiced in them. In the case of this one, I have fought people in them. I wore this one when I was still working. Or actually, there was another one, but it's same model, the one piece. And they retain the pistol. They give me good security, a nice smooth draw, nice quick draw. I like the fact that they space the loops out, so they're very stable in the waistband as well. And that's one of the benefits. It's very consistent, very stable, which allows me just more consistency on my presentation, which then in turn equates to speed. So I do like these. They do work for me. Your mileage may vary. You have to live with these things. Get your gear, try it for a while. Don't put it on and go, oh, this doesn't work. And certainly don't listen just to any opinion that's out there. You need to find out for yourself because bodies are different, experiences are different. And like I said, your mileage may vary. So anyway, going back to the holster. So this is a Standard Co. This one has got a this Hypalon connector here, spare mag, of course. This one for the Glock is from T5 Custom Kydex, one of my favorite companies. This is all one piece. Jerry does make one that's similar to these called the Papillon that has a connector here, and so it does flex a little bit. And some people are going to find that's a bit more comfortable. This one being rigid is more stable, but it can be a little bit less comfortable, although I find that to be very, very comfortable. And then finally, this is from Tier 1 Concealed. This is their Axis Slim model, and this is for the STI. This one is connected with a shock cord, and like the other ones, it's just a one-piece design, gives you a lot of stability. This one is the slimmest from side to side of the three, and that's something that you want to look at when you're making your selection, because you may find, depending on your body style, that something that's a little bit slimmer may work better for you, something that's a bit wider may work better for you depending on your body composition. So, these are a couple of my favorite things. These are guns that I have in all four cases used extensively. I've taught with them, I've carried them, I've trained a lot with them. They're just good, solid pieces of equipment, the holsters as well. So as always, if you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any comments, leave them down below. Give us a like, give us a share. You all stay safe.